That's a winner, eh?
It's a winner.
Welcome to What's Niggling Me. We're just getting pumped up over here.
Bangers.
I got nothing. Hit me.
Nothing with what?
I'm sure I do. I got nothing to start with. We just woke up.
I heard that the leader of Iran,
The Ayatollah?
he apparently has leads groups in chants of death to America. You heard this before?
Mm-hmm.
Is it true?
Probably, but...
So is that an issue?
To me, I don't think so. Actually, that's a great question, and I have a great answer. Because I do have something. In the list I have of the most powerful long-range missiles in the world. Just so you know, I live about 10,000 kilometers away from Iran, and Iran has no missiles that can't even make it halfway. None. Now, Israel has one that can make one halfway.
I believe, doesn't Israel's nukes make it most of the way?
Israel has that's known. We don't even know what they hide. But they have this Jericho 3 missile. And for some reason its Wikipedia was updated 2 days ago, but the Jericho 3 missile is a solid-fueled intermediate range ballistic missile developed and produced by Israel to replace its older Jericho 2. First test in 2008, entered service 2011. It can go from 4,000 to 6,500 kilometers, and it's capable of carrying both conventional and nuclear warheads. Israel can launch all the missiles they want at us, and they can't make it. Iran can't either. So I'm not worried about Iran because they have 0 missiles to come over here.
But Bibi said in 1992 that they're a couple years away from nuclear.
Iran? I know.
And then he said it again in 96. He said it in 2002. I believe he said it in 2011.
No, my favorite is the Geraldo Rivera video.
Which is?
One sec. Netanyahu, the night of 9/11. Look, Brett's already watched it.
Mr. Prime Minister, welcome. Why was the United States hit so savagely? What was the objective of these terrorists?
What we're dealing with are terrorist attacks launched by Islamic militants who enjoy the support of radical states in the Middle East. This militant Islam, I think, perverts and distorts one of the world's great religions. They want to reverse history. They really don't accept the last 1,000 years of history in which Islam receded in the West, and democracy became the primary force in the world. And so they want to roll back time. And in order to do that, they have to strike at the main bastion of the Western democracy, and that's the United States. And so they hit you now, and they'll hit you again, because their objective is literally to destroy the United States. If they can't destroy it, they can hit it and strike it, and at least crush its will, and bring it to its knees. This may sound fantastic, but that's exactly what they think. And this is inspired again and again by Islamic militant teachings, and of course by the Islamic Republic of Iran. This is what the Ayatollah Khomeini was all about. So they see the United States as the great Satan. We in Israel, by the way, are the little Satan. If Belgium was in our place right here in the Middle East, it would also be a little Satan.
No, pause. Hey, did you hear that Little Satan and Big Satan?
Yep.
Okay. Most powerful missile in the world is Russia's Satan II. It can go 18,000 fucking kilometers, which is insane. Russia, the second most powerful missile in the world is Russia's Satan, and it can go 16,000 kilometers. It's older but incredibly potent Russian missile. It can carry big nuclear warheads and was created during the Cold War. Its destruction power is still well known. So they have two missiles that can go wherever they want in the world, Russia. But yeah, they named them Satan and Satan II.
And they go after the United States, and they'll go after it again.
Awaken the sleeping giant. Don't you agree?
Yes, but I think this is a wake-up call from hell, because they don't intend to stay where they are. They're constantly developing greater technical proficiency. And the radical regimes, specifically Iran and Iraq, that are part of this terror network, are developing weapons of mass destruction. So the next time, as horrific as this attack was, as horrible and agonizing and loss of life, the next time you will see not thousands or 10,000 people die in New York, but millions. In other words, once this Islamic militancy acquires nuclear weapons, they might change history. They might destroy our civilization, our freedoms, our democracy that they hate so much. And therefore, this wake-up call that we've received...
they hate our freedom and democracy here 10,000 kilometers away. It must frustrate them 10,000 kilometers away. That we're free and have democracy.
Did you not see was it Saddam what he said before they killed him?
When they had a rope around his neck?
And I don't know if it was then or before that, when he pleaded, he said, why do we hate America? And the reason we hate America is because you kill Muslims.
I know Bin Laden said that.
That's who it was, Bin Laden.
Right as
Muslims, and you take over countries that aren't yours.
Right as I started listening to this idiot, I thought it reminded me of Bin Laden's letter to America. Because this...
It has nothing to do with our freedom.
No. Freedom and democracy, that makes me laugh. That's why they hate us. They hate us because we go and fucking put military bases all around them. And switch out their fucking leaders if they don't agree with America's policies.
It's a summons to action. It says that unless we act now to dismantle this terror network of terrorist states manipulating terrorist groups in the Middle East and beyond, then our future is in doubt. They have the will to destroy us. They don't have the power today. We have the power today to crush them. We now must show that we have the will to do so.
You wrote in your book 5 years ago, Fighting Terrorism, How Democracies Can Defeat Domestic and International Terrorism. I'll quote, in the worst scenario, the consequences could not be a car bomb, but a nuclear bomb in the basement of the World Trade Center. You got the location right, the weapon wrong, but they didn't even need a nuclear weapon. Do you really envision the obtaining of weapons of mass destruction by these very same personalities or people like them, and that they would have the will to deliver even an Armageddon kind of blow to the United States?
Do you have any doubt? I mean, okay, they didn't use nuclear bombs because they don't have them, but they used a 350-ton conventional bomb, 350 tons of conventional bombs with all that fuel, and that is far more powerful than anything an F-16 could launch in terms of a...
You know what I think is real interesting hearing him, and I've watched this interview multiple times, that he's calling the plane going into the tower a 350-ton bomb. I'm curious how he knows in hours after it happened that the plane is the equivalent to a 350-ton bomb. Like, who told him that?
Or was it even a plane and it was a bomb?
Well, I'm 99.9% sure that there was bombs in both of those fucking towers. In 3 of them, the Tower 7 too. And they went off with the planes. But first plane.
Well, to go farther on that, didn't you see how that Indian plane went through the building?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy that that building's still standing?
I know.
Isn't that fucking crazy it didn't blow up?
It didn't
It
just.
wasn't a controlled demolition.
It
after.
didn't fall into its footprint. That's so weird.
How?
With
all
jet
the
fuel,
ones
jet
around
fuel
it
burns
somehow?
steel beams.
Bro, this building must have been better. The one in India must be better. The house must be better than the 9/11 building.
You're fucking insane.
Trippy.
American Airlines Flight 11. Hey, it says here the flight was hijacked by 5 terrorists with Mohammed Atta as the ringleader. Showed you a picture of him half an hour ago. It's not funny. That's not why I'm laughing. Inside joke. 350-ton bomb. American Airlines Flight 11. I wonder how much fuel it had by the time it got to the towers.
Mm-hmm. My first ripper today.
I don't know how to look that up, but I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna figure out him calling that a bomb like that is interesting.
Conventional weapons. So they're well on their way. But it is important to understand that none of these groups, not Bin Laden, not the Hamas and Hezbollah and the Fatah Fatah groups, Arafat's own group that formed this network of terror, none of them could act without states, without terrorist regimes. It's important to understand that. These terrorists don't float in the air. They need territory. They need a place to be launched from, to come back to coordinate. That is, those who don't commit suicide, those who orchestrate, plan, execute, arm, dispatch these terrorists. They need a place to be, and that place to be is a handful of states in the Middle East: Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, a few Arab states, and indeed this complex that includes also Arafat's own Palestinian domain, which has become, in fact, the factory of suicide bombs. Arafat has summer camps. Geraldo, he has summer camps in Gaza where Hamas and Islamic Jihad teach Palestinian children to become suicide bombers. He's preparing the kamikaze pilots not only of today, but of tomorrow. So this network that whose various parts support one another, help each other in material, help each other in political support in these abominable resolutions they passed in Durban the other day, this network itself has to be dismantled, because if it's not dismantled, the answer is yes, they will develop atomic weapons. They already have ballistic missiles, 2 of these states. They already have chemical and biological weapons. They're well on the way to developing atomic bombs. And if they do, then history will change. History is not ended, unlike what Francis Fukuyama wrote, with the triumph of capitalism and democracy over communism. In fact, there is a new conflict. And this is the threat of this Islamic militancy coupled with affiliated Arab terrorist groups who
there's Osama bin Laden they're showing a picture of. He was on Team CIA for a long time.
To destroy the West. Nothing short of that. What we have to make clear is that terrorism is...
This is my favorite. In this part of this video, they're showing I want to say, yeah, they're probably showing people from in Afghanistan here on a fucking jungle gym. You ever see that video?
Yeah, I've seen it where they're training real well.
They're training, they're just like, climbing across bars, like that we did when we were kids.
Yeah, and now they're ready to kill.
You know how much they must be sweating? They're all covered up like this. They must be sweating in the desert.
Bro, they
is an
stink.
Like, bro, it's crazy.
Visible
There's
evil.
no
It is
deodorant
evil
here.
everywhere, and the success of terrorists in one part of the world emboldens terrorists elsewhere. So we have to adopt the same kind of attitude
They're out there doing a tough mutter.
that the civilized powers adopted against piracy in the 19th century against Nazism in the 20th century, we now have to adopt against terrorism in the 21st century. It is a crime against humanity. It is evil at all times. It is unpardonable. There are no excuses and no concession to terrorism. And the terrorists and those who support them are enemies of mankind. We will fight them resolutely. I think this attitude will produce the necessary action. And I think that President Bush has been wise to call a global war of the democracies against terrorism.
Mr. Prime Minister, shalom. Thank you.
Shalom. Pfft.
Fuck you.
That's 23 and a half years ago. This guy's calling, let's go fucking kill them all. And then right after this...
He was a leader then?
Yep.
When he started this when he was an MP.
Mm-hmm. This is 23 and a half years ago, roughly.
You know who his son is?
No, but I just saw someone's son. Oh my God. That's an interesting reminder. That's an interesting reminder that you said that. Anthony Weiner, remember I've been telling you about him?
Mm-hmm.
His ex-wife, who is she with? Uma Abedin is with George Soros' son. Fuck, man. I couldn't believe that I seen this. Because she, not right after, but she got divorced from Anthony Weiner, obviously. He fucking has a serious problem that he thinks he fucking beat, but the guy has a fucking problem. She started dating Bradley Cooper. Google this woman just so you can see what this woman fucking looks like. She has one of the biggest mouths you'll ever see in your life.
What's your name?
Huma, and her last name is Abedin. She has one of the biggest mouths ever.
Yes.
Oh, whoa. What's popping on my screen? 2 days ago, there's an article here. 2 days ago, there's articles here. That's not where I seen it. I forget where I seen it. But they're talking about her Wikipedia got updated 20 hours ago. The weirdest shit, like, that people are constantly on Wikipedia. Up editing it. She got married to George Soros' son.
I see that.
Which is so weird.
Huma Mahmoud
Mm-hmm.
Abedin.
George Washington University.
Vice chair for Hillary Clinton's campaign.
Yeah, that's when her ex-husband fucked it all up. Her mouth is huge. Went to George Washington University. What were you telling me about George Washington University? Oh, the archives.
Archives. They have a lot in it.
George Washington University.
There's some secrets in there.
I just did a thing on here of Israel, and they're a bunch of liars, and they were the ones building a nuclear program since at least the early 60s. Mordecai Vanunu, they put him in jail, I think, for 18 years, because he's a former Israeli nuclear technician who revealed details of Israel's nuclear weapons program to the British press in 1986, and then Israel put him in jail. Israel caught him in Italy and dragged him back to Israel and put him in jail for 18 years.
What's his name?
Mordecai Vanunu. You ever hear about him?
No.
Vanunu's revelations about Israel's nuclear program included information that Israel ranked as the world's 6th nuclear power and possessed as many as 200 atomic warheads. He also revealed that Israel probably had a stockpile of 100 to 200 nuclear weapons, was able to make thermonuclear devices more powerful than atomic bombs, and had collaborated routinely with South Africa on nuclear matters. And Israel was the last country. They were at one point the only ones supporting the apartheid in South Africa. Israel was all for the whites and against the blacks in South Africa. And Israel was against Nelson Mandela. They were against the blacks and for the whites. And obviously you can see it in their current situation. They're the chosen ones. What else you got going on?
What do we got here?
Put those top 10 nuclear, or there's top 10 missiles, most powerful missiles. Russia's on there, North Korea's on there, China's on there, and all of them are in BRICS with Iran. So if Israel and the United States wants to go full-fledged war, that means all those countries join Iran.
But you don't believe that we would have those? Just don't tell us.
Have what?
Those kind of missiles?
Canada doesn't.
No, not us. Our complete garbage.
Oh, that Iran? No, because
the U.S.
Oh, the U.S. does. They're on there too as well.
Okay.
But they don't have the most powerful ones. They don't. Well, they possibly. Russia does. But it really doesn't matter if you start going with anybody starts launching them. If one starts launching them, then the other one starts launching them, and it's a disaster. But Iran is part of. Iran, part of nuclear. What do you want to call it? It's like they're in like a treaty thing that they get their stuff checked. Clear. Pat is not the word, but Iran is part of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which obliges it to forego nuclear weapons and allow international inspections to verify compliance. When was the last one? That's what I'd like to see. When was Iran's last nuclear inspection? Oh, forgot my teeth. The last nuclear inspection of Iran's facilities, as mentioned in the context, occurred in 2021 following the U.S. withdrawal from the 2015 nuclear agreement. Iran expanded nuclear enrichment activities and limited international inspections, with the last inspection, 2021. Okay, so I did read that Iran would like to have, I listened to this real interesting person on the future of energy, basically. And he has a program like fucking Elon Musk that you never even hear about. But he was talking about Iran would like to, if you enrich uranium to like 60%, then like I think 30 or 60%, I forget what the number is, but you can use it as energy. Like they want to, if Iran can use, they got 90 fucking million people. It's a pretty decent sized country. So if you can,
92 million, right?
What?
They have 92 million?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe that, right? I don't believe any country that's counting up to 92 million has the accurate fucking number. to go and do a census on everybody. I just don't believe they're that successful at counting everyone to the number. They're just guessing. What was I saying there? If they can use nuclear power, then they can sell all their oil, and that makes them a lot of money because they won't need their oil. Like, a lot. They won't need very much of it, that they can just sell it all. That's why the United States back in the day was even tight with them at all, is because Iran had so much fucking oil reserves. And they made an agreement. They made, 50-year something like that agreement with the Shah. U.S. Iran oil agreement. I want the old one. I'm gonna have to type in Shah, aren't I? Consortium Agreement, 1954. No, maybe that's not what I want. Prior to 1979, the United States and Iran had amicable relations, and American companies were involved in Iran's oil sector. But you know what? Their agreement was going to end. I swear that's what it was, that it was going to end, and they didn't want they were saying no more US companies, we'll sell it, and then overthrow. Overthrow. Now, it's going to be tough right now to find any good information. They're going to be putting out a lot of propaganda in all the searches and everything everywhere about how bad Iran is. And they don't got a good leader, but it's all because the CIA. I can't even type the guy's name in that fucking was a big part of overthrowing the Iranian regime in fucking 79. Brzezinski. His daughter is on the news. She has fucking short hair. How do you even fucking spell that? I think it's an E though. Brzezinski. News anchor or something. She does the fucking Morning Joe shit. Because I think that's her husband. Is Joe Scarborough. Brzezinski Clinic. Brzezinski. Joe Scarborough. I don't even know how you fucking spell that. That's exactly how you spell that. Trippy. Joe Scarborough, a former politician who co-hosts, and his wife Mika Brzezinski. Wow, I did not spell that even close to right. I'm pretty sure her dad was the reason, or was a big part. I seen him in an interview saying we shouldn't have overthrown. It was a mistake. Iran in 1979. It was a mistake for us to do that. Daughter of diplomat and political scientist. See, how much is this? This is why I can't say this guy's name. This is how you spell this guy's name. Zbigniew Niew. Now, this motherfucker was a powerful person. A Polish-American diplomat and political scientist. He was under Lyndon B. Johnson right after JFK got killed. Primary organizer of the Trilateral Commission. You know who was on the Trilateral Commission at a time?
I could guess, but who?
Jeffrey Epstein. Founded in 1973 by David Rockefeller. I don't even know who I could compare this guy to, but this guy was going all over the world to make agreements, bro. Normalization of relations with China back then and Taiwan, Egypt and Israel, the overthrow of the U.S.-friendly Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, and the start of the Iranian Revolution. I knew it. I knew it right here. This motherfucker went and did that. And right here, in order to undermine the influence of the Soviet Union, supporting the Afghan Mujahideen against the Soviet-backed Democratic Republic of Afghanistan. Yeah, so he was supporting right here Osama bin Laden. The Afghan Mujahideen was Osama bin Laden. He was on the CIA's team at one point. The United States and Osama bin Laden, teammates. Just like they were the teammates of Al-Qaeda, the United States was, and then more recently, they were teammates with ISIS, and they put in fucking the leader of ISIS in Syria. That's what the United States does. And then he'll be an enemy. Watch for the future, where the leader of Syria, the former ISIS member, who is on the team right now, will be against. I see Mr. Brzezinski he decided to come up to Canada and go to McGill University, where they were doing MK Ultra. It's weird that he went to a university in Montreal before going to Harvard. What a weird choice, eh?
What a weird coincidence.
Yeah. This guy right here had a lot of power. A Roman Catholic born in Poland in 1928 had so much power all over the world. What year did he do this? McGill, bro, he went there before they might even been doing MK Ultra. Even though I know that it was around, when was Sidney Gottlieb doing that? I have a Canadian article, I just can't think of where I have it. I have so many tabs and so many devices. Sidney Gottlieb. He was born in 1918. Reveals Sidney Gottlieb worked in the 1950s and early 60s to develop mind control drugs and deadly toxins. This guy died in 1999. Ooh, they got a different thing for him on Wikipedia. Was an American chemist and spy master who headed the CIA's 1950s and 60s assassination attempts and mind control program. Bro. Brah.
What a coincidence.
Hungarian Jewish immigrant parents, Fanny and Louis Gottlieb. Ooh, his brother probably had some good stuff. His older brother was a plant biologist. I'm sure they were finding some deadly toxins in those plants. Hey, just a light touch on this guy's Wikipedia. He was born with a club foot, which got him rejected from military service in World War II, but did not prevent his pursuit of folk dancing, a lifelong passion. So despite assassination attempts and mind control, he got to folk dance for his whole life.
What a lucky guy.
Zbigniew, I wonder if that's how you pronounce it. Zbigniew Brzezinski, though, I'm telling you, and his daughter is on the news on MSNBC almost every single day. Her dad was going around the world doing some wild shit. What else you got?
Let's do my page. A lot of the stuff I have is from the pod, so I can't really talk about it.
What one?
The Tucker one.
Oh. Yeah, I'm excited for that Ted Cruz Tucker one.
I hope Iran wins. So who do you think, or what do you think? I don't know. Because it seems like Trump does want to and doesn't want to go into the war.
Oh,
I think he wants to more than he doesn't, though.
A guy at work brought it up to me yesterday. He said, this guy says to me, I saw Trump, because he knows. He's like, I saw Trump left the G7 early because he had to go deal with the stuff overseas. And I can't, it makes me so angry. And so then I'm like, this fucking idiot. I'm like, I'm fucking done with Trump. I fucking hate Netanyahu. I fucking can't believe that Trump is gonna fucking go over. You know what he said? He's like, we're not dropping the bombs. Fucking yeah, they're just giving them to Israel to fucking drop and then monitoring fucking everywhere. I was like, you know how Trump treated fucking Zelensky, Trump treated Trudeau, you know, how Trump treats everybody. He like, if you want to try and like, if you say anything combative to Trump, he gets his chest puffed out and he's ready to fucking rip, right? He is a pussy for Netanyahu. He will never try to assert his fucking power over Netanyahu ever. Like at any fucking time. Tell me another person that Trump doesn't try to big up. He doesn't try to act tougher than. He will cower down and do whatever for Netanyahu. He's like, Netanyahu says we're gonna fucking murder them all, and he's like, and Trump's like, he just kind of puts his head down and shakes like shit. He's not gonna say no. You're going to listen to us. He's never going to. It's the saddest. It's embarrassing that Trump will cower down to Bibi Netanyahu. It's an embarrassment. He would bow his head and Netanyahu would just tap him on the head. Good boy.
Straight out, eh?
It's so embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It makes me lose my mind. I had to tell him after. I was like, you got me riled up with Trump and fucking Iran. And, but I was listening to a podcast of, remember I was telling you about the guy who they brought back the wolves?
The Dyer?
Yeah. Well, the chief scientist of that company went on Rogan. Oh yeah, I don't like Ben Shapiro, but Beth Shapiro, I was a fan. She was it was very interesting to hear a scientist with a personality, and just listening to the capabilities of the technology they have is just awesome. It's so interesting because they're not doing it, but with the technology that they're using, things could be pretty crazy. Because there's other like Neanderthals and other things. There are other like things that walked. They're not humans, but there's other sapiens that walked and stuff, right? Like there's a few others. Technically, they can bring them back. And she says, we're not doing that. She says she doesn't want. She says this, and they maybe have to say this, but maybe she holds this opinion. I can tell you that not everybody holds this opinion, but she says because they're not humans, but because they're not animals, and they can't give consent to bring them back. Like the lamest excuse that I ever heard from, because I see what these scientists like to do in history, and they fucking did COVID in a lab. they're fucking working on viruses to weaponize them. What is fucking Lyme disease? Okay, the ticks. These things were weapons. These things were weaponized in labs, and so she says these things can't give consent, so we're not doing it. But I can tell you that there's scientists that are excited to bring those things back with that technology.
100%.
But like, those are the cool things with technology, and the things like I can be quite nihilistic and cynical and sound like there's no hope for the world, but there's cool things going on that I like and I enjoy.
Did you ever listen to Russell Peters on Ari Shaffir?
I believe so.
Then you would remember what I'm about to tell you. Now, I didn't watch the whole pod, but I've seen Russell Peters saying that he has intel from someone that the Jewish people were flying or they were basically dropping candy from aircrafts over Palestine that was poisoned. Like, this is back in the day, not now. We're not right now.
I want to say I heard that, and maybe that's where I heard that. But I showed you before the fucking mines that they used, right? Remember those leaf mines?
Is it shaped like leaves?
Yeah. The Israelis leave these mines for the Palestinian kids.
Well, yeah, because if they grow up, they're going to be... If one of them is going to kill 50 Jews.
Bro, get out of here, you fucking internet. Give me the real thing I'm looking for. Leaf miners. I'm not looking for a fucking bug, okay?
Yeah.
What do you want to call those? Not a mine, then. What do you want to call that? Like, it's not...
Leaf explosive.
Leaf...
Or you could put Jew leaf explosive.
I think the Russians created them.
But who's using them?
Oh man, this is making me lose my mind trying. I know that, and again, it's in a tab somewhere I have. Russian mine that looks like a leaf. Here we are. The PFM-1 mine. The Russian mine that looks like a leaf is commonly referred to as a petal mine or a butterfly mine. These mines are small, anti-personal devices that are scattered in large numbers across war zones. They're designed to detonate upon contact and are known for their ability to blend in with the environment, making them difficult to detect. The mines are typically about 12 centimeters in size. That's insane, right?
That's fun.
And come in colors that help them remain hidden on the ground. They have been used by Russian forces in Ukraine, where they have caused significant harm to both soldiers and civilians. So what do they call these babies? PFM-1 mine. PFM-1 mine, Israel. Ooh, it doesn't want to give me that, hey?
Probably not. Go to the Al Jazeera website.
That makes me laugh. What's this say? NoLandmines.com. Man, that's a bright fucking screen. The number 4 is a plastic box mine based on the design of the wooden PMD6 made in Israel. It is usually green. It has been found in Afghanistan, Israel, Iraq, Falkland Islands, Lebanon, Sudan, Kurdistan. TNT. I can tell you that little box mine doesn't look like very much. It's crazy that it can just blow up.
They said that about the pagers too.
Straight up.
You have dumbasses fucking thinking, oh, it's so fucking awesome. Cause they have no fucking. Someone said it to me one time. This older guy that works for my work, and it fucking made me angry. Like, you support this? Cock sucking pussy.
The U.S. You know what's crazy? You think of Sudan, right? You know a little bit about them.
Yeah, the women in the south.
Yeah, and I tell you, the craziest is like they have a Sudan, South Sudan. Then there's a civil war in both of them. So like, it's not a very developed country, and there's chaos there for a long time. Isn't it insane that the United States bombed a pharmaceutical plant in Sudan in 1998? Like, that's a country that doesn't have anything like that. Like, they can't do that to other countries. They can't do, like, it's insane for countries to go and over the air dropping bombs. These people, the majority of the people in these countries are living a life of hundreds and thousands of years ago. And then all of a sudden, planes come over top, or like drones come over top and drop bombs on them. They've never even been on a plane, or they've never, like, they don't even, some of these places don't even have airports. And they're like, what are these things overhead? They're not birds. And then boom, just getting blown up. Like, it's so fucked. It's so weird to go and
You don't support it?
No, to just go destroy poor ass countries. Oh, I was going to tell you about this. They don't like to mention this. That the Lawrence Franklin espionage scandal involved Lawrence Franklin, a former United States Department of Defense employee, passing classified documents regarding United States policy towards Iran to Israel. Franklin pled guilty to several espionage-related charges and was sentenced in January 2006 to nearly 13 years in prison. Franklin passed information to American Israel Public Affairs Committee. You know who that is? AIPAC.
AIPAC. Well, I can't wait for you to watch this podcast, man.
Policy Director Stephen Rosen and AIPAC Senior Iran Analyst Keith Weissman, who were fired by AIPAC. They were indicted for illegally conspiring to gather and disclose classified national security information to Israel. However, prosecutors later dropped all charges against them without any plea bargain.
Weird. That's hella weird, no?
That's hella weird. A member of the Department of Defense for the United States was giving classified documents about Iran to Israel to AIPAC. An unregistered, the only unregistered foreign agent.
I love this pod, bro.
The only unregistered foreign agent that JFK in the 1960s
wanted to see
and
what they were doing and then defund them.
Huh?
He wanted to see what they were doing with their missile or nuclear missile and then defund them.
Yeah. JFK said, we don't want you to have a nuclear program, especially because back then, that was the Cold War. Only fucking Russia and the United States were battling. And then you have, this is literally, I think, my last episode I just did. Because it irritates me that it's rules for thee and not for me. Like, that Israel gets to complain and complain and complain about Iran. They have been fucking stealing. That's the Mordecai Vanunu. In the 1960s, they fucking stole uranium from the United States. They did. Fuck. The Mordecai Vanunu. Where's my fucking tab? Because they did it, and then like 20 fucking years later, he came out and said, hey, like, we got this going on here in Israel. I don't have any of those tabs open anymore, eh? U.S. stolen uranium. The United States, the Apollo affair. Let's go. 1965 investigation. Ryan Dawson has a documentary on this called New Mech. In Pennsylvania, they lost uranium with suspicions that it had gone to Israel's nuclear weapons program. That incident happened in 1965. 20 years later, Mordecai Vanunu comes out and says, hey, Israel does have a nuclear program going on. So in those 20 years between, they obviously enriched the uranium. And another Shapiro. It's a common name. I won't throw Beth with Ben and Zalman Shapiro. But yeah, the FBI investigated Zalman Shapiro, the president of the Nuclear Materials and Equipment Corporation, which they should not have done. He was a longtime Zionist. You should never make a longtime Zionist any position in the fucking in your government. He had business interests and contacts with high government officials in Israel, including a contract to build a nuclear-powered generator in Israel. Yeah, turned into a nuclear-powered weapon. A General Accounting Office study of the investigations declassified in May 2010 stated, we believe a timely, concerted effort on the part of these three agencies would have greatly aided and possibly solved the NUMEC diversion questions if they desired to do so. They didn't want to find it out. Says some remain convinced that Israel received 206 pounds or more of highly enriched uranium, particularly given the visit of Rafi Eitan, later revealed as an Israeli spy, and who was later involved in the Jonathan Pollard incident. An Israeli spy. Oh no, an American spy for Israel, he was. Spy, 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 spy. Our greatest fucking ally.
Oh, yeah, they're just, I mean, I can't wait for you to hear Ted Cruz, man.
That's my title for this. Spy, spy, spy.
And then it starts with that song, is awesome.
Spy, spy, our greatest ally. At this point, my guess is fucking Ukraine is our second best ally, right? Like,
100% because they're next to Russia.
so fucking retarded. There's a fucking train just wailing on the horn. You got any more? Got random shit going on here.
Could you tell me, or I have to do my own research, so I know nothing about the Berlin Wall.
They don't really talk about it, except that it came down.
Mm-hmm.
I know that during that time, Germany had the East Germans, right? I think it was the East Germans had an incredible doping program going on.
Mm-hmm.
400 meter, this I'm gonna figure it out, women's world record. Because I'm very sure that that woman still owns it from then. Marita Koch.
It's a bad bitch. I do have a couple.
Yeah, it's been 40 years and nobody's been able to beat her record. You know how good we've gotten in athletics, and for nobody to be able to beat that record means you were on a lot of fucking steroids. What the government was doing to this woman in East Germany what the government was doing to her in order for her to be still the fastest 400-meter woman is insane. Because I see a lot of impressive black women that can't beat this woman. It doesn't make sense. Even though the one girl that I hope to do it is Jaya Patillo. And I think she's going to grade 9. So I still have a long time before I get to see if this girl can do it. I think that's this girl's name. Yeah. Oh, there's an I in it.
What about Caitlin Clark game last night?
I just seen like her hit. Oh, I seen, bro.
It was badass.
I love the girl fights. I think I just told you that pretty recently, right?
Yeah.
Bro, the girl that did that whipped that one girl to the ground.
Bro.
It was so funny watching that girl's face in slow mo.
Straight up, bro.
That girl wanted it. That girl.
It was about it.
Yeah, she was.
2 girls were running after her. She went in.
I know. She was ready. Like.
Not with a flinchy face, nothing. She went in, bro.
Mm-hmm. It was funny. And that girl's good looking.
Yeah, she is. I used to hear her cry about women's pay, I'm pretty sure, but...
Sophie Cunningham, that's who that was, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure she was fucking one of the coaches or GMs or something.
Easy.
A rich guy, you know?
I'd put in her butt, too. No?
Yeah.
That made me laugh, bro.
I know.
And we got one more game for the NBA, right?
Yeah, when's that? Is that tonight?
No, tomorrow.
Okay, sweet. I like that. I get to watch OKC win the championship. I got one more thing here.
You see, they took the whole starting lineup with a minute 50 something left, down 11, eh?
What?
Pacers took the whole starting lineup with a minute 57
I saw. I didn't like it because I needed fucking Halliburton to score.
And after what Halliburton did in the first game,
I know. Like it was stupid. It didn't make sense.
like,
Douglas Fight. I heard multiple people say this guy's one of the dumbest people that they worked with. His name is Douglas Fife. I've heard multiple people say that this guy's one of the dumbest people that they ever worked with. Douglas Fife, who served as Under Secretary of Defense for Policy from 2001 to 2005, was involved in the creation of the Office of Strategic Influence, which was criticized for its role in shaping public perception of the War on Terror. The OSI was described as a secret room in some accounts, and it was tasked with conducting non-covert influence operations in foreign countries. However, after significant media scrutiny, Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld had Fife shut the office down, transferring its functions elsewhere within the Department of Defense. This propaganda machine, this piece of shit under George Bush. Douglas Fife. This guy's a wiener. Still alive today. Real wiener.
like Anthony.
Yep. Or I seen Oliver North. You know that guy? You've probably heard the name in passing, but this guy, he's a real
Yeah, he is on the news.
I know.
He's a news anchor, right?
And he shouldn't be on the news. Nobody. If he's on the news, nobody should be listening to him.
It's hilarious.
Nobody should be listening to this guy.
I know what he did.
Yeah, he sold weapons to Iran. And other people should have went to jail for this, but he was the person that went to jail for it. He had a veteran of the Vietnam War. North was a National Security Council staff member during the Iran-Contra affair, a political scandal of the late 80s. It involved the illegal sale of weapons to the Khomeini regime of the Islamic Republic of Iran to encourage the release of American hostages then held in Lebanon. North formulated the second part of the plan, which was to divert proceeds from the arms sale to support the Contra rebels in Nicaragua. And then that was, it doesn't have in here because he wasn't part of this part, that they were getting the cocaine and bringing it to the United States. That was during Rick Ross. This half of it is with they were getting money from all the cocaine being flown in, and a ton of it in Arkansas, where Bill Clinton was the senator, I think, at that time. That was his, if you don't say anything about us flying in and out of Arkansas, you'll be the president one day. Insane, all these people. We live in a wild world. Wild, wild west.
It's about to get way worse soon.
Yeah, I am following. I'm following. Keeping track. I'm going to leave these tabs up here because I got more videos that some of this stuff reminded me of that I just have to find timestamps and stuff for a upcoming pod. I hope this was enlightening.
I liked it.
I hope this was enlightening.
Just remember, the Indian house didn't fall down.
No.